What is up, Sushis? Today we are back in the brand new fishing update in Run a Restaurant. I'm going to be showing you guys a really good layout for the brand new fishing recipes. So make sure you guys watch the whole video so you don't miss anything, and hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get into this build. So here we are inside of the official build. And before we go ahead and get into anything, I do want to give everybody their full credits. So shout out to Trivox, putting his channel on the screen right now, and as well as its Vibe Vault. They're the two people that helped me out with this setup and provided me with the code to be able to use this setup and review it for a video. I've also reviewed some of their setups in the past as well, some of their free-to-play setups during some videos. So yeah, huge shout out to them. They're always awesome, and I've used some of their builds before. And today we're using their brand new build, which is going to be for the new seafood. Now, I'm going to try to keep this video as sorted as possible so you guys don't get confused. So first thing we're going to do is go through the entire build. Second thing I'm going to do is show you guys the setup for the ranchers and farmers to make the farming area work and all that stuff. And then I'm going to go through all the recipes that you need to have enabled. So make sure you guys watch the whole thing, because if you miss any part of this, you might not have the best layout working correctly, because some parts might be messed up. Now, I'm not going to be giving you guys the full build either, like me building the whole thing, because I'm not the one that built it. I don't know how to rebuild it. So yeah, I'll just be giving you guys the code to copy it down. But starting off in the front, we just have a slushy station because we're going to need that. And we also have the lifeguard station as well. So make sure you guys have that stuff. And then heading in the left side over here, this is going to be where all of our money stuff is. So I have a bunch of my tip jars lined up. I think like 15 or 20 of these things lined up down here. We also have my dinosaur, which gives us the boost for income. And then we have our little cash register. Now, I don't have only 50K just sitting in there. That's because I actually have my restaurant off right now, so I'm not even earning money. And I'll kind of explain why. So basically, because it's going to take me about like 10 minutes or so to record this video, maybe longer, I'm kind of earning up a bunch of lobster and different ingredients I need. Because if you guys didn't know, some reasons why you might be serving a lot of rice and not your recipes is because your restaurant can't keep up with how much ingredients you're using. So if you just turn your restaurant off for a few minutes or a little bit, you'll stack up a lot of ingredients. This way, you'll start going through those for a while and then still be able to generate more ingredients before you run out. Just a little tip for you guys, okay? But yeah, so anyways, let's go ahead, head into the actual area, and I'll show you guys the stuff that I ended up changing. This way you guys know. So heading inside, we have 2 of the carbon dishwashers. I'm going to be replacing these eventually once I get more golden ones, but we just have those there for now. Now, they didn't provide a host station, so I did add this in because obviously we're going to need that for any build. I did replace a bunch of the tables and chairs they had with my more pay-to-win ones, so obviously I make more income, more money. So I just replaced the golden tables and chairs and also replaced with the surfboard chairs. I forgot the name of these things. Oh, the Adirondack chair. So I replaced pretty much every single chair with those as well because they are really good compared to the chairs that they had. And heading inside, we have a drink machine. We have the coffee beans. We have some more of the carbon dishwashers. And then I actually replaced the 4th one they provided with 2 of my golden dishwashers because obviously I'm going to use those over having as many of these carbon ones. I honestly would love to have all of these everywhere, but I can't. So anyways, we have the, I forgot what these, what are they called? The titanium stoves. So we have 3 titanium stoves. They also did not include prep kitchens as well. So if you guys do have 3 of these, make sure you guys put them in the areas I have them in. So I found that the only spots I can really put them in here was just like this. So I added 3 of these. And then you guys are going to want to make sure I finally got my hands on one of these food pantries. So if you do have one of these, you definitely need to use it, because especially with this setup, the amount of lobster you can catch is really low compared to as much as you're going to need for this layout. So if you can get around a way of being able to have that like 15%, I think it is, of not using an ingredient and it being the lobster, it definitely helps tremendously. So make sure you have that. But that's basically the full inside. It's kind of the same as like any other build, pretty much. So then if we head upstairs, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the farming area situation. And then I'll show you guys what we have going on down here, which is going to be the fridges and the animal layout and all that stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm still testing out the farm they gave me, but if you guys don't like the pretty much the layout of this, you can use the one that I've been showing in every video that I use, which I found to be currently the best way to set up the farming area. So I might go ahead and swap this out. I'm gonna have to see how well it works so far, but this is what they gave. So I mean, it honestly looks like it can work. I just prefer to have everything spammed everywhere. This way, when your workers, your what's it called, the farming people actually scythe, you get a bunch of every crop instead of one specific crop. So like the only bad side with this one is, let's say your farmers go in here and they scythe this entire area. It's only going to give you corn, which is kind of bad. Now, I'm still testing to see if it works. Personally, I prefer having every single crop just spammed out everywhere. So let's say if they scythe right here, I'll have a piece of corn, I'll have a piece of carrot, I'll have maybe a watermelon, and it'll give me a bunch of ingredients at once rather than just a ton of the exact same. So if I do end up changing this, I'll let you guys know, but pretty much for this build, you're going to need corn, carrots, because you're going to need that for the animals, okay? Now, heading down, you're going to need coffee beans, obviously, to boost up the customers, or, I mean, the workers. You're going to need the pineapples, you're going to need coconuts, a lot of watermelon, and sugar cane, and that's going to be everything you need for the farming area. Now, why is there a cow just up here? Okay, get out. I think I might accidentally place that. I'm gonna have to put that downstairs. Now, for the upstairs area, I'm gonna show you guys what we have going on for the what's it called? What are these things called again? I forget the names of everything. The processing stations. So what I have going on, and I found to kind of work right now, is gonna be about 4 to 5 milk to cheese, because you're gonna need this for some of the recipes. Now, I haven't figured out yet if this is a good setup. I don't know. I'm still kind of working on it. I think we're gonna need more milk, so maybe less, like maybe just 4 is good. Then you're gonna need sugar cane to make the sugar for the drinks, and then I just have the rest turned on wheat because I found I didn't really need all of them. So yeah, I'm gonna have to keep tweaking some of it though to my liking and see what works best, and you guys should do the same as well to find what you guys works the best for your build, because I do have a few more crops than you guys are gonna have down on it as well, because I had a little bit extra of things. So I'll have a lot more watermelon in my base and a few other crops. But that's the basic layout. I also changed out the sprinklers with the big ones, at least a few of them, so that helps out too. But that's pretty much going to be the entire build for the farm. Now, if you guys want to copy the one I personally use the most, just head down into my videos and you'll see one called the best farming setup, and then just use that. But replace it, because for that one was actually for different recipes. So just make sure you make the crops the same crops for this build, okay, if that makes sense. Try not to be as confusing as possible. There's a lot of stuff to cover. Now, heading into the back area, this is going to be where all the fridges are. So if we just open this up, I pretty much have a bunch of the industrial or the titanium fridges which I can actually replace another one. So let's do that. And yeah, pretty much you're just going to fill up this back area with as many fridges as possible. And that's what I did. I replaced a lot of their basic ones with the titanium. You guys will do the same with whatever fridges you guys have. So that's the whole fridge area. So let's get out of there and board that back up. Now, heading inside of here, you might be wondering, Sushiwi, what is going on back here? And actually, I'm going to place another cow back there because we need a lot more milk than the chickens. So we have pretty much back here a bunch of the houses for the chickens and the cows. So you're going to need the animal factory, and you're also going to need the animal barns. Now, if you guys use the layout, it'll give you the exact amounts. You're going to put these all back here, and then we have a bunch of windmills, obviously surrounding the little area with the cow and the chicken. And then we have a bunch of cows and chickens. I think I have about 10 or 11 chickens, and then the rest are cows boxed off in that area. I also have some more windmills over here, so I have a total of 6 windmills going on. And that's pretty much going to be the setup for one of the recipes. You guys will see in a second once I cover that stuff. And then heading out back, nothing crazy because I don't have maxed out fishing yet. So we just have 2 of the big ice chests, the ones that give 57, or I think 50 something, but I have them boosted up to 57. We also just have a fridge so that they store everything a lot faster. And then I just have 3 of the stations in which they process the fish. So that's pretty much what we have going on for the dock area. Nothing crazy yet. You know, pretty simple layout back there. So let's go ahead and get into the actual stuff. So heading inside, also, what did I just get for fishing? We got, each box holds 3 more. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay. So, obviously the more you have leveled up, this is going to be better and stuff like that, but I'll go ahead and show you guys. So for farmers, you're going to need 1 doing carrots. You're going to need 1 doing corn. You're going to need 1 doing coconuts, pineapples, coffee beans, watermelon, and then the final one is going to be sugarcane. This way you cover every single crop we have. All right. So that's going to be the farmers. Now, I have all mine on level 8, so obviously they're going to be collecting really good for me. Now, for your ranchers, I actually need to go ahead and reverse this. I have them on floor 2, in which this build actually has them on floor 1. So let me make sure they're actually even doing anything. We're going to have 1 B for cow, and then we're going to have 1 B for chickens, okay? Because we're using chickens, and we're also using... Actually, I just went ahead and looked at everything we need, and it doesn't make sense we need chickens, so I don't even know why I put those there. So I replaced everything with cows. I think I was tired last night when I tweaked this all. So, yeah, because if we go into the recipes real quick, I guess I'll show you guys this real quick before we go back into the workers. So actually, let's just put both of these on cows. I think, yeah, we just need both of them on cows. And then that's pretty much it. Now, you're going to only need 2 ranchers is basically what works out for most stuff. So just make sure you have them leveled up. I have them both on level 9 so that they're efficient as possible. Because if we actually look at the recipes we need, we're only using gourmet of the seafood recipes and minus the seafood risotto. So we're going to be using the lobster dinner, which only requires lobster. So we only need lobster for that. Then skipping the seafood risotto, we're going to use the lobster biscuit, which requires lobster, cheese, and milk. Now, we get the milk from the cow, and then we provide the milk into the machine that gives us the cheese. So we only need cows for that, and then the lobster. Then heading into the surf and turf, we only need beef, which again comes from the cow, right? So we only need the cows for that. Then we need tuna and lobster, so that's seafood. And then for the last one, we need salmon, tuna, and lobster. So I really don't know why I included chicken. I mean, honestly, if we're using the secret, then we'll need the truffles. But I don't know. I guess we... Oh, that's where I messed up. We need the secret. Oh, that's where I messed up. Okay, see, now I'm all over the place. So we actually need pigs because we're going to need the truffles from them. Okay, I see. Okay, yup, that makes sense then. See, I'm messing up the build. Okay, so we're going to remove some of the cows and replace them with the pigs. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, so just to redirect you guys on what I changed. So I put about 21 cows, I think, and about 12 or 11 pigs. Obviously, it's going to make a difference to you guys. So just use whatever you can. And yeah, I just realized I messed up some stuff. So we're going to do cows, and then we're also going to do, I think just cows. Yeah. No, pigs. So we're gonna have pig and then cow. So when you guys go to ranchers, you're gonna have one to cow, one to pig. Okay, so that is that. Sorry, I just messed up like some stuff. So that's what you guys are gonna do. You're gonna have about 12 pigs, about 20 cows. Okay, and that'll be the setup over there. So now for this, if we go back into this again, yes, one cow, one pig, and then you're going to have those leveled up as much as you can. Farmer's going to stay the same. And then for the recipes, you're going to use lobster dinner, which just requires lobster. Lobster biscuit, which is why we need the milk, the cheese, and the lobsters again. Surf and turf, you're going to have the beef, the tuna, and the lobster, which is why we need the cows. Then for Captain's Platter, you're going to need salmon, tuna, lobster. And then we're actually going to turn on Neptune's Feast, which is the secret, in which we need shrimp, cod, salmon, tuna, the pigs for the truffles, and more lobster. So that is going to be all the recipes you need. Lobster dinner, lobster biscuit, surf and turf, Captain's Platter, and Neptune's Feast. And that should be everything covered for the entire setup. I'm sorry I kind of messed that part up a little bit, but you guys should be following along. I mean, being able to follow along with the last part, because you know, I did go ahead and show you guys everything that needs to be replaced. And if you just go ahead and use the code, it'll be there anyways. So let me go ahead, update the layout. I'm going to delete this one, create. I'm going to name it Sushiwi, submit. And this is the code right here. It's going to be 831E55FC378E. Okay. That's going to be the setup to use. Now, if you want to use his original layout without my tweaks, it's going to be 06D410C6FF03. That's going to be the one they made for me without all the tweaks that are on it. So this is going to be a less pay-to-win version, okay? And it'll just be more of the basic, like, more free-to-play stuff. Now, if you're more richer and you have more pay-to-win stuff, then you can use my code, okay? So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. And, yeah, we made some pretty good stuff. So, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about this setup and if you guys make any tweaks to it as well. And I will see you guys later.